Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The political opposition to introducing Uniform Civil Code in India has now taken the shape of a campaign with All India Personal Law Board and Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind mobilizing structured opposition to the idea. Their considered opinion describes the UCC as an assault on minority rights, including the right to practice one's own religion. They have described the idea of nationwide UCC as an imposition of majoritarian morality. Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin went a step further and said UCC implementation was a conspiracy to impose Sanatan values on the entire country. The party ruling at the center has accused these leaders of fear-mongering over an essential progressive reform only to feed their own vote banks. With the political din over the UCC peaking, it is important to separate sophistry from sophistication to expose any agendas at play. If the Uttarakhand draft is anything to go by, the UCC is focused largely on ensuring basic rights and dignity to women subjected to regressive practices such as halala, iddat, polygamy, to name a few. It is also meant to ensure women are empowered, cutting across religions and communities through equal property rights, a common age of marriage for all girls, and these are the basic minimum that anybody in any developed society should have. Is it then reasonable to call these reforms as an agenda to enforce majoritarian morality or Sanatan values? Let's first listen to what All India Muslim Personal Law Board had to say on this matter.
अपने मुल्क में का कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हमें और आपको हर शहरी को अपने मज़हब पर अमल करने का पूरा इख्तियार देता है। न सिर्फ ये कि इख्तियार देता है बल्कि फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन को फंडामेंटल राइट करार दिया है, और सिर्फ रिलीजन ही नहीं बल्कि कस्टम और ट्रेडिशंस तक को पूरा तहफ़्फ़ुज़ फराहम किया गया है, सेफगार्ड किया गया है। इस वजह से हम सब ये चाहते हैं कि तमाम लोगों को अपने अपने मज़हब पर और अपने अपने मजहबी रीति रिवाज पर और अपने अपने मजहबी अहकामात पर पूरी तरीके से जो अमल करने की आज़ादी है वो आज़ादी हमेशा बरकरार रहे।
Ladies and gentlemen, under the existing laws, girls can only be married off after adulthood, but Muslim girls can be married off just as they attain puberty. Also, polygamy is punishable by law for all religions except for Muslims. Maintenance laws too are skewed against Muslim women who are only entitled to it for a specified period, not for a lifetime. Even for inheritance, Muslim women are allowed only half the share that is given to sons. This is why perhaps they today seek their due. The question is, shouldn't equality and dignity be seen as ethos conforming to constitutional morality instead? Should it not be worrisome if imparting women's right is to be seen in contravention of religious rights? Is it not an acknowledgement of certain religious practices being too regressive to stand the test of human rights? Well, the likes of Mr. M.K. Stalin and Omar Abdullah believe that the centre is trying to impose UCC so as to take revenge against its own dissenters and is even imposing Sanatan Dharma on the people of India. Listen.
அந்த பொது சிவில் சட்டம் என்பது நாட்டிலே ஏற்கனவே சிவில் சட்டம் கிரிமினல் சட்டம் என்ற சட்டங்கள் இருக்கிறது. ஆக அதை நீக்கிவிட்டு பொது சிவில் சட்டமாக கொண்டு வந்து பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சியுடைய கொள்கைகளை அந்த ஆட்சியை எதிர்க்கக்கூடியவர்களெல்லாம் பழிவாங்க வேண்டும் என்கிற நோக்கத்தில் மக்களுக்கு துன்பங்களை கொடுமைகளை கொண்டு வந்து சேர்க்க வேண்டும் என்கிற அந்த தீய சக்தியோடு இன்றைக்கு அவர்கள் செய்து கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய இந்த காரியங்களை எல்லாம் பார்த்து கொண்டிருக்கிறோம்.
अभी तो जिस तरह एक मेजॉरिटेरियनिज्म का दौर इस मुल्क में चलाने की कोशिश की जा रही है, शक तो होता ही है कि इनके इरादे सही नहीं है, लेकिन इन लोगों को ये भी समझाना पड़ेगा, लोगों को, इस मुल्क के आवाम को, कि जब आज़ादी के बाद मुल्क के कानून बनाए जा रहे थे उस वक्त सुनने में आया है कि पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू उनके साथी चाहते थे कि मुल्क में एक यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड हो। उसकी मुखालफत संघ परिवार ने की।
संघ जो निश्चय आते एवं কিন্তু হিন্দু রাষ্ট্র তো ভারতবর্ষের একমাত্র এগোবার উপায় নন।
Even the likes of Nobel Prize winner Amartya Sen jumping in to actually oppose the UCC. The BJP has taken on critics, including Muslim bodies, and accused them of trying to resist a progressive reform just for the sake of their political expediency.
जो है लॉ कमीशन में शिकायत करी है, इस पर क्या?
देखिए, लॉ कमीशन ने सभी लोगों के विचार मांगे हैं, उन्होंने भी अपने विचार दिए हैं, लेकिन मुझे लगता है कि गलतफहमियां बहुत ज़्यादा हैं, जिसको कहते हैं मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन। मुस्लिम समाज में सबसे ज़्यादा भ्रम है कॉमन सिविल कोड को लेकर, और मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि आगे आने वाले दिनों में वो भ्रम दूर होगा। और इसलिए जो बोर्ड है, ये ऑल मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड, उनको भी इस दिशा में काम करना चाहिए कि देश के अंदर कैसे कॉमन सिविल कोड लागू, चूँकि संविधान के तहत ये निर्देश का नहीं, या संविधान में इसका उल्लेख है।
जब जमीन जायदाद का बंटवारा हो तो महिलाओं को इक्वल हिस्सा मिले। क्यों नहीं कोई आंदोलन आज तक मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड खड़ा कर पाया? क्यों वो 4 शादी के समर्थन में आज तक खड़े रहे? विरोध जरूर कराएगा, जरूर जो नौजवान मुसलमान हैं उनके दिमाग के अंदर एक भ्रम फैलाएगा।
दिस इज वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट। मुस्लिम लॉ बोर्ड डिसीजन इज anti-nation, anti-constitution. UCC, Common Civil Code, is not a religious issue. This is a constitutional issue.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings me to the legitimate question on the Newshour tonight. How is Code of Equality and Dignity communal? How can it be Sanatani? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9. Debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Mr. Waris Pathan, national spokesperson of the AIMIM, Ashwini Upadhyay, lawyer and petitioner in this case. Also joining us, Rahul Ishwar, activist, Ambar Zaidi, activist, Abdul Razak Khan, member of the Karnataka Waqf Board, Saira Shah Halim, social activist. But first, let me go across to Mr. Waris Pathan and Ashwini Upadhyay, because Ashwini Upadhyay is the petitioner. Ashwini Upadhyay, why do you think that the UCC is not communal? Because everybody, starting from political parties like the AIMIM, the Muslim Personal Law Board, and now even Amartya Sen, have come out and said that this is an attempt to impose majoritarianism on the minority community.
Navika ji, government will bring uniform civil code, not uniform dress code, not uniform identity code, not uniform religious code, uniform custom code. तो जब यूनिफॉर्म ड्रेस कोड नहीं आ रहा है तो कपड़ा सब लोग अपनी पसंद का पहनेंगे। यूनिफॉर्म आइडेंटिटी कोड नहीं आ रहा है, आइडेंटिटी सबकी एज इट इज रहेगी। यूनिफॉर्म रिलीजियस कोड भी नहीं आ रहा है कि किसी के रिलीजन में कोई इंटरफेयर होगा। यूनिफॉर्म कस्टम कोड नहीं आ रहा है कि किसी के कस्टम में कोई इंटरफेरेंस होगा। यूनिफॉर्म फेस्टिवल कोड नहीं आ रहा है कि फेस्टिवल सबको एक जैसा मनाना पड़ेगा। यूनिफॉर्म ट्रेडिशन कोड भी नहीं आ रहा है। यूनिफॉर्म मैरिज कोड नहीं है कि सबको एक तरीके से शादी करना है। यूनिफॉर्म फूड कोड नहीं है कि सबको एक जैसा खाना खाना है। यूनिफॉर्म एजुकेशन कोड नहीं है कि मदरसा मिशनरी स्कूल बंद हो जाएगा। यूनिफॉर्म लैंग्वेज कोड भी नहीं आ रहा है कि सबको एक जैसी भाषा बोलना पड़ेगा। यूनिफॉर्म रिजर्वेशन कोड भी नहीं आ रहा है कि किसी के रिजर्वेशन पे कोई फर्क पड़ेगा। यूनिफॉर्म टैक्स कोड नहीं आ रहा है कि 1 नेशन 1 टैक्स लागू हो जाएगा। यूनिफॉर्म प्रेयर कोड भी नहीं आ रहा है कि सबको एक तरीके से इबादत करनी पड़ेगी, एक तरीके से पूजा पाठ करनी पड़ेगी। सिंपल सी बात है, इट्स ए यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड। यूनिफॉर्म सिविल कोड मींस सबकी शादी विवाह का उम्र एक समान हो जाएगा, सबको शादी का रजिस्ट्रेशन कंपलसरी हो जाएगा, सबका ग्राउंड्स ऑफ डिवोर्स, प्रोसीजर ऑफ डिवोर्स एक कॉमन हो जाएगा, सबको गुजारा भत्ता मिलेगा, सबके भरण पोषण का अधिकार मिल जाएगा, सबको बच्चा गोद लेने का अधिकार मिल जाएगा, सबको विरासत का और वसीयत का, सक्सेशन का और इनहेरिटेंस का इक्वल राइट हो जाएगा, सबके लिए एक पति एक पत्नी का नियम लागू हो जाएगा, सबको माता पिता की देखभाल करने का अधिकार मिल जाएगा। और मैं तो कहता हूं इसी में हम दो हमारे दो भी कर दिया जाए कि सब लोग हम दो हमारे दो को भी फॉलो करें, मुझे लगता नहीं कि इससे किसी के प्रैक्टिस में इंटरफेरेंस हो जाएगा। और यहां जो पैनलिस्ट बैठे, मैं तो उनसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं, आप लोग गूगल करिए 5 टेनेट्स ऑफ इस्लाम, 5 टेनेट्स ऑफ क्रिश्चियनिटी, 5 टेनेट्स ऑफ सिखिज्म, 5 टेनेट्स ऑफ हिंदुइज्म, और इसमें कहां से इंटरफेयर आएगा यूसीसी का, वो बताइए। 5 tenets of
Varis Pathan, ball is in your court. Please
वो बताइए।
respond to Mr. Ashwini Upadhyay. He's made it very simple. It is only some areas, no customs are becoming uniform. What is your fear other than your vote bank?
Well, I heard Mr. Ashwini Upadhyay, my friend, making certain points that uniform civil code will not be applicable. This will be applicable. I don't think so. Mr. Modi also does not know about it. He is not aware about it. Where is the draft of the uniform civil code? Does he has it? Nobody has a draft of the uniform civil code. From where does he get it? That is why we say that intentions are mala fide. And when in 2018 itself, the Law Commission has made it very clear that we don't require a uniform civil code and there should be no argument on it for 10 years. Why does Modi government want to implement it? See, Navika, in our country, we follow the constitution given to us by Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar. There is Article 14, there is Article 15, there is 26, Article 29. Article 29 speaks about pluralism and diversity, which are the basic structures of the constitution. What will happen to them? Every person has a right to follow his own culture. Every person has a right to protect his own religion. While if they bring this, what will happen? What will happen to the HUF, which is given to the Hindu undivided family? 3,000 crore plus rupees has been lost every year. What will happen? Whether they will go along with the Daya Bhaga school of thoughts or the Mitaksha school of thoughts, nobody knows. BJP is in alliance with Mizoram of the Nagaland. They have got the special status under Article 371. They have straightly refused that. We don't want the NDPP. What will happen to that? There are special status given to tribals and Adivasis in different states. What will happen to that? Will Modi remove that as well? And before bringing UCC, there is a law in Gujarat, Navika. If Varis Pathan wants to buy a land in a property or a flat in a particular area, I am not allowed to buy there because the law prohibits me from buying that. In Himachal Pradesh, there is a law that if Varis Pathan wants to buy an agricultural land, say 1 acre apple orchard, I am not allowed to buy that.
That so even I am not allowed to buy, but Ashwini Upadhyay, respond.
How can you implement that? This is nothing but to the 2019, prior to 2019 also Modi made that they will implement the UCC. But no, AIDMK said we don't want the UCC. SDP says we don't want the UCC. Even Amartya Sen, the well-known economist, said that this is not required. It is a Hindu majoritarian thing. So why does Modi want to implement and create this thing in the country? Because they know they are losing the 2024. So now UCC has come, triple talaq has come, and also Pasmanda Muslim law for them has come. अरे सर मेरे को एक सवाल का जवाब दे दो अश्विनी उपाध्याय. I challenge you. Show me 10 persons. Give me name of 10 Muslims who have married 4 times. Give me 10 names of Muslims who have married 4 times. And I will show you there are several people, my non-Hindu friends, I know them. 4, 5, 6. I don't want to name them. But you want to target a particular community. You don't.
Ashwini Upadhyay, respond to Mr. Varis Pathan. Varis Pathan is responding to you. Ab sun to लीजिए.
Navika ji.
Yes.
हाँ वारिस जी अगर आप एचयूएफ का अपोज कर रहे हो, यू डिमांड 1 नेशन 1 टैक्स कोड, आई विल सपोर्ट यू. अगर आप प्रॉपर्टी की बात कर रहे हैं, मैं नहीं खरीद पा रहा हूं, यू डिमांड 1 नेशन 1 प्रॉपर्टी कोड, आई विल सपोर्ट यू. यू डिमांड इफ यू वांट दिस रिलीजियस कोड, देयर इज नो 1 नेशन 1 रिलीजियस कोड. तो ये बात कहना. और अगर आप 4 शादी प्लीज, आप 4 शादी नहीं कर रहे हो, सुनिए प्लीज एक जस्ट 30 सेकंड. देखो भैया, संविधान रीतियों का अधिकार देता है, कुरीतियों का नहीं. संविधान प्रथा का अधिकार देता है, कुप्रथा का नहीं. संविधान धर्म का अधिकार देता है, अधर्म का नहीं. संविधान समानता का अधिकार देता है, असमानता का नहीं. ये 3 तलाक, हलाला, मुता, मिस्यार, तलाके हसन, तलाके बाइन, तलाके किनाया, तहर्रुस, ये कोई रीति है क्या? ये कुरीति है, ये कुप्रथा है, ये अधर्म है, ये असमानता है.
अभी मैंने सुना ना,
आप ये बताओ, मुता मिस्यार करते हो,
डिमांड करने का बोला ना, यू सेड वारिस पठान यू डिमांड लॉ.
कोई लड़की मुता मिस्यार कर सकती है क्या?
अलाउ मी. अरे अच्छा मेरे सवाल का जवाब दे दो, अश्विनी जी. Navika, he says you demand a uniform code. I demand a uniform law on mob lynching. I demand a uniform law on hate speeches. Because in particular, if the Hindu Mahasabha person gives a hate speech, no law for him. He's arrested, granted bail in a day, and they go out and again give rantings against the Muslims. I demand a law on the mob lynching. Why does Modi not bring a stricter law on the mob lynching issue? When every day Muslims are being mob lynched in the name of cow. Sometimes they are mob lynched in the name of JSR. Let there be a law for that. Let there be a uniform law for that. Then we will see what happens in the country.
JSR,
equality. Whom will you go and garland? Whom will you give the ticket to contest election and win the election?
No. You should demand one nation, one penal code. You should demand one nation,
if you are happy for your happiness, I'll say that.
Good.
brother.
It doesn't matter. I'll also say to you. I'll also say to you, inshallah.
आप ये बोलो 1860 का आईपीसी खत्म करो, नया आईपीसी लाओ, उसमें हेट स्पीच भी डालो, मॉब लिंचिंग भी डालो. I will support you. You demand a new Indian penal code. I will support you.
अरे मोदी को बोलो लाओ. मोदी को बोलो लाओ. 9 साल से आप सत्ता में थे, आपके पास मेजोरिटी था, पावर था, you had every.
अरे मैंने
why did you not get this in the 9 years? If it was so important for the benefit of the country, they should have got it then. Why now? Why now, sir? Bring a law which will say that the petrol and diesel gases prices are reduced. Get a law wherein which can say that खत्म हो गया देश में. लाओ कानून ऐसा जिससे मालूम पड़े कि रुपया बैलेंस हो गया, इकोनॉमी अच्छी हो गई. वैसा कोई कानून लाओ.
Basically you are saying that reforms in society is not something that you will allow the government to do. Let me ask you. आपने HUF की बात कही. Who is protesting on the streets against HUF? कर देना चाहिए. बिल्कुल. That should also be relooked. Why should they get a special benefit, or everybody should get the same benefit? So bring a uniform tax code. Nobody has a problem. Nobody is protesting on the streets. Why are you protesting so much? And I want to ask you, the AIMPLB has been pulled up by no less than the Supreme Court. आप रोज दुहाई देते हो, and barrister साहब, आपके boss ओवैसी साहब रोज दुहाई देते हैं that they swear by the Constitution of India. Now Supreme Court only interprets the Constitution of India. In the Shah Bano case, may I tell you what they said about the AIMPLB? They said it's a matter of deep regret that some of the interveners who supported the appellant took up an extreme position by displaying an unwarranted zeal to defeat the right to maintenance of women who are unable to maintain themselves. The written submissions of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board have gone to the length of asserting that it is irrelevant to inquire as to how a Muslim divorcee should maintain herself. The facile answer of the board is that the personal law has devised the system of meher to meet the requirements of women, and if a woman is indecent, she must look to her relations including nephew and cousins. यानी कि वो डिपेंडेंट हो जाए अपने nephews और cousins पे, लेकिन डिवोर्स के समय अपने हस्बैंड से नहीं मांग सकती. I want to ask you, today Waris Pathan, we are living in the 21st century. Do you think something like this, God forbid, if it were to happen to any of our daughters in any of our families, larger families, in our society, in our neighborhood, would you actually support कि उनको मेंटेनेंस भी नहीं मिलना चाहिए, इनहेरिटेंस भी नहीं मिलना चाहिए?
Well, I am very happy that the BJP, Navika and Ashwini Upadhyay are very got soft corner for the Muslim women. During triple talaq issue also, Modi said that Muslims, women are my sisters, but that same sister, Bilkis Banu, her rapists were allowed to go scot-free and they were given ticket to fight election.
We debated it here, Mr. Waris Pathan. I raised my voice even against that.
And 1 minute.
I raised my voice. So please,
very good.
Please, so I will do this debate also for the women, and please, I'm not only standing up for Muslim women, I will stand for every last woman on this planet. My friend, have no doubts in your mind that I will stand and fight for each one of them. I will fight for Sikh women, Jain women, Hindu women, Muslim women, Christian women, everybody.
I would like my friend, Acha, allow me now. I would like my friend Navika Kumar to stand up for the 20 lakh plus abandoned sisters, deserted sisters who are living in Vrindavan. Kindly speak for them also, because
Ashwini
they've been deserted by
Upadhyay.
the husband.
Ashwini
Nobody
Upadhyay,
is taking
respond.
care of her. So let us see to it that we take care of them also. And I would request my friend Navika Kumar to also talk about those abandoned sisters who are in Vrindavan. Secondly, what has Modi government done for the benefit of the Muslim women? We are demanding of scholarship for our doctors to study. Give them scholarship. No, he does not want to give. That is why I say the intentions of the Modi government are
scholarships for Muslims have gone up, my friend. What are you talking?
That is why UCC Pasman and triple talaq. 40% decrease in minority budget. What are you talking? Last year, Nirmala Sitharaman, 40% decrease in the minority budget. Why? Ask them the question, and they are talking about Pasman Muslims. Do they care for them? They will reduce the budget, you take away the reservation, and you talk about Pasmanda Muslims.
Ashwini Upadhyay.
नविका जी, पहली बात तो जो पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड है, इसको इंदिरा जी ने 1973 में एज ए एनजीओ रजिस्टर कराया था, और ओवैसी साहब उस पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड के मेंबर हैं। इस पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड की मैं आपको करतूत बता रहा हूं। मैंने पॉलीगैमी चैलेंज किया, पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड सुप्रीम कोर्ट में पॉलीगैमी को सपोर्ट कर रहा है। मैंने हलाला को चैलेंज किया, पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड हलाला के साथ में खड़ा हुआ है। मैंने मुताह और मिस्यार जो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मैरिज होती 15 दिन के लिए 20 दिन के लिए, वो अरब के शेख आके करते हैं, मुताह और मिस्यार आप गूगल करना, उसका सपोर्ट कर रहा है पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड। हलाला का सपोर्ट कर रहा है पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड। तलाके हसन का सपोर्ट कर रहा है, तलाके एहसन का कर रहा है, तलाके बाइन का कर रहा है, तलाके किनाया। आपको पता तलाके किनाया क्या है? 3 बार बोलना है, जाओ मैंने तुम्हें आजाद किया, जाओ मैंने तुम्हें आजाद किया, जाओ मैंने तुम्हें आजाद किया। ये 3 बार बोला और तलाके किनाया हो गया। एक लड़की जो है उसको दिया तलाके हसन, 3 बार चिट्ठी भेजा, 15,000 रुपए पेटीएम किया, बोला ये तुम्हारा मेहर की रकम हो गई, 2,000 रुपए उसके बोला तुम्हारे बच्चे का दूध पीने का खर्चा, 17,000 रुपए में तलाके हसन हो गया। मैं अपने ओवैसी जी से पूछना चाहता हूं, ओवैसी जी क्या चाहते हो कि आपके किसी रिलेटिव का हलाला हो, आपके किसी रिलेटिव के साथ मुताह मिस्यार हो, आपके किसी रिलेटिव के साथ सौतन आए आपके घर में,
चलिए बताइए।
नहीं,
तो
मैं पूछ रहा हूं कि
अरे नहीं हो रहा है, यू वांट टू जस्ट हैरेस द मुस्लिम्स।
गूगल करिए।
Okay, I'm opening up the debate. I'm opening up the debate. And Amber Zaidi, I don't think Mr. Baris Pathan.
नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है, आप यूसीसी लेके आ जाएंगे, कहां से लाएंगे?
अंबर जैदी, बारिस पठान जी सही कह रहे हैं।
आपके हैदराबाद में मुताह और मिस्यार होता है मिस्टर, एफआईआर हुए कितनी बार?
Okay, Ashwini Upadhyay, let me get in the women's perspective. Amber Zaidi, where do you stand on this? Is Mr. Baris Pathan right? Do Muslim women need to follow the Muslim Personal Law Board, or do they actually want rights that the UCC might give them?
Navika ji, thank you so much for having me on your show, and as a co-petitioner with Ashwini Upadhyay in Delhi High Court, and I've been, and along with Ashwini ji, we are working on ground as well as we are fighting in the courts for equality. My equality that is ensured by Constitution of the country, and supposedly we are talking about Article 44 Directive Principles or Principle of State Policy, which says that every individual must get equal right under the Supreme Court of under the Constitution of the country, and these people, including Baris Pathan, All India Muslim Personal Law Board, and Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind, Arshad Matni, they are instigating people by saying that our religious practices and our cultural norms and our practices are being taken away. This is not going to happen. Why are you blaming, why are you instigating people for your mere political benefits? My equal right, my right to equality is not your right of religion, not your freedom. That if I am going to court and fighting for my equal right and justice, that is given and ensured by the Constitution of India.
क्या आपको हक नहीं होना चाहिए सायरा शाह अलीम? क्या अंबर जैदी को अपने राइट्स के लिए लड़ने का हक नहीं होना चाहिए?
Humiliated.
Okay, can I come in now?
Yes, Saira.
Well, here I'm not against, nor let me finish. Let me finish. So I'm not against, nor I'm for. I'll be very clear. If UCC means equal inheritance of women, I'm all for it. If UCC means speedy divorce and equal justice to women, I'm for it. If UCC means easy adoption of children of all sections of different religions, society, I'm all for it. It'll be a great service to humanity. If UCC means law against mob lynching, I'm all for it. If UCC means law against incendiary statements, law against hate mongering, law against rioting, I'm all for it. But here we don't have the draft ready. Can we take a look of the draft? Let's see what it looks like. Then we'll take a call on it, because here it's understood that Article 25 gives every religious group the right to manage their own affairs. Like I'm saying, here we are arguing for and against without the draft ready. Okay. So can somebody explain?
So Saira Shah Halim, I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you, Saira Shah Halim. Would you advise Mr. Waris Pathan? Would you advise Mr. Waris Pathan not to go against it, because even he hasn't seen the draft? Haven't you heard his objections? Do you think he's being unreasonable?
And it's still they are instigating people to come on road.
AIA.
He's not being unreasonable.
AIDM.
Why? Because you said you haven't seen the draft, so you can't support it. But he hasn't seen the draft, and he's opposing it.
You are mixing two different things. You are mixing civil and criminal matters. Don't you know what are the civil matters?
Let me finish.
You will support only if and but. Don't you know you are a well-read person? Why are you instigating people? Why can't you simply say that it is just about equal rights of women? It's not just about the Muslim community. It's about the entire 70 crore Muslim women.
I said.
But then why are you bringing in issues that are already covered in the IPC? Why are you bringing in issues that are covered in the IPC, my friend? Why are you bringing those issues?
Law Commission and you.
Can we tell that lady to calm down? Can we tell that lady to calm down? She's not allowing anybody else to speak.
Whatever. No, but you made your point. Why are you not advising Waris Pathan?
Can you be reasonable? Can you be reasonable? And can you be respectful?
So let me say, can I talk now?
You say what is reasonable, what is truth. You can't instigate people using this platform. I'm not heckling anyone. You can't simply use this platform for instigating people. Just aware people on uniform civil code. I'm not heckling anyone. I'm a Muslim woman of this country. You can't supposedly spread misinformation. You being a well-read and educated person of this country, you should make people aware what is the truth.
Well, so let me, 1 minute, let me get in Rahul Ishwar. Rahul Ishwar, why does Mr. Waris Pathan find it so convenient to bring up the issues which are already addressed in the criminal procedures, in the penal code, IPC exists, hate speech or riots, all of that is covered in that. Why do they want to bring in issues that are already dealt with by the law by trying to avoid talking on the issues of equality in rights? And that is exactly the game, or the position that is being taken by Saira Shah Halim. They are not talking about adoption. They are not talking about maintenance. They are not talking about age of marriage for the girl child. They are not talking about, equality in divorce, etc., etc. But they go on to hate speeches. They go on to other issues. Why are they doing that, Rahul Ishwar? Is there an agenda?
Correct. Adarsh, they are just confused. They're just confusing the issue. Navika ji, just two submissions. One, Uniform Civil Code is the most complex, multi-layered and nuanced issue in Indian Constitution. Great secularists like Pandit Nehru supported it. Great progressive liberal like Baba Saheb Ambedkar supported it. The greatest communist EMS supported it. Ironically, it was the great Hindu sage Pujaniya Sarsang Chalak, Guruji Goldwalkar, who opposed it on principle. So there are respectable positions on both sides supporting and opposing. Second, there are some gross injustices we cannot close our eyes to. And Waris Saab, with due respect, Nikah Halala has to go. It's a bad practice. It is not, in this this way mentioned in Holy Quran. So there are some bad practices which have crept over the years. Yes, there can be a principled opposition. Just like I pointed out earlier, Guruji Goldwalkar opposed on principle, saying that we need unity, not uniformity. There are various positions, but confusing the issue, bringing in other issues is not the right thing. Let us debate on principle. Whether you agree or disagree is second matter. Don't take the excuse route of saying that draft is not ready. It's a matter of principle. You debate. You can support, oppose. You can half support, half oppose. But let us not play a hide and seek game. Please address the core issue and not bring in other issues, which is already addressed in IPC. So let us address on the principle of it and let us debate on it. And one more thing, there is a sagely position of Guruji which says reform should come from inside. Just like the law commission. Just one last line. Just like the just one last line. Just like law commission in 2018. Guruji Goldwalkar 50 years earlier said that reform should come from within and not from outside. So you can take such positions, but rather confusing the issue, instigating the issue is not right. You can definitely
kindly
debate on
interpret
the
Article
issue,
44
but these
properly.
kind
Why
of
you are
talking
misleading?
points are
And we are not misleading the people. We are guiding them. We are saying that
let there be a draft. Let us debate
to bring the UCC in our country.
That
we are saying that follow the constitution.
I don't seriously think any Muslim man will support Nikah halala. Let us be honest about it. Not even one
suggestions
Muslim
were
man in
taken
their
by the
right
Law
honest
Commission in
mind will support
2017.
Nikah halala.
After taking the suggestions, Law Commission was the opinion that UCC is not required. What will happen to that?
Even my
so many
community, Hindu
suggestions were
community,
taken
may
and they
also
say
have
that it
such
is not
reforms to be
required. And who are
taken.
you to
So
bring it?
please be
You
honest.
are more intelligent or
Don't
intellectual than the
don't
UCC,
confuse
than the
the
Law
issue.
Commission.
Don't beat around
You are
the
more
issue.
intelligent
Please
than them.
address the core point and not
We
run
are
away
not
from it.
confusing. We are simple and solid. We are going as per the constitution. Unfettered rights which are given to me by the constitution, I am talking about that.
Sir, constitution
Okay, then let me ask Mr. Abdul Razak Khan. Abdul Razak Khan, my question to you is, why do you not follow the criminal laws also as per Shariat? Why only civil laws? Why not the criminal laws? You know, in many Islamic nations, the criminal laws are different.
Navika ji, when it comes to social justice, yes, we have accepted criminal laws, but when it comes to the fundamental, giving up of our fundamental basics of Islam, the Muslim personal laws are directly derived from the Holy Quran and Sunnah. The Supreme Court once said that Hinduism is not a religion, it is a way of life. There might be scope for changes or amendments in Hinduism, but there is no scope for a change in Islam. Let me tell you, circumcision is a painful exercise. For Rahul Ishwar and Ashwini Upadhyay, they might think that this tradition of a Muslim boy going through a circumcision might be a painful exercise for him. But rain, come or sun, either if I have to give my life for it, I will ensure that my children are circumcised because it is my integral practice.
So nobody is stopping you from that. Nobody is stopping you from that.
One moment, madam.
No.
One moment, madam.
But I want to ask you, why do you want to prevent your daughter from inheriting your property after you are gone? Why do you want to prevent?
To these organizations and political parties.
Madam, if today Amber Zaidi feels that she is not content with the Islamic practice of... Madam, don't heckle me, I did not talk when you spoke.
Then how your custom practices?
Madam, please allow me my time.
You are spreading misinformation.
Madam, please.
Do you know what is...
Okay, what is your point? Abdul Razak Khan, what is your point? Abdul Razak Khan, what is your point? What is your point?
If Amber Zaidi or Saira Shah Alim today feel that they are not content with the Islamic practice of accepting one part of the property, they are free at their own will to go to any court in this country. Nobody is stopping them. Even after UCC, if they don't get their share properly, they will go to the court. So what is the urgency of implementing uniform civil code on us?
Mr. Upadhyay is answering you. Abhishek Upadhyay, Ashwini Upadhyay is responding to you. Abdul Razak Khan, on the point of law, Mr. Upadhyay is responding to you. Just calm down. Ashwini ji.
जी, पहली बात तो ये कि अगर ये कह रहे हैं कि हमें अपने इस्लाम पे चलना है, ब्याज लेना हराम है, आप बैंक से ब्याज क्यों लेते हैं? मुफ्तखोरी हराम है, केंद्र सरकार की और राज्य सरकार की सैकड़ों योजनाएं क्यों लेते हैं, वजीफा लेते हैं और स्टाइपेंड भी लेते हैं, पता नहीं माइनॉरिटी कमीशन शांत रहे, सुनिए सुनो, एक बार सुन लो भाई, ऐसे नहीं, सुनिए सुनिए,
ज्ञान दे रहे हैं आप,
एक बार सुनिए, पहले सुनिए, आप सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जरा इनका पाखंड देखिए, सुनिए प्लीज, अरे सुनिए,
इस्लाम जानते,
अरे सुनिए भाई,
अरे
हाँ सुनिए प्लीज,
क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं?
नविका दिन को शांत कराइए, नविका शांत कराइए।
क्या आप ब्याज पे
ला
इंडिविजुअल
नहीं, मैं बता रहा हूं, ला
जो बोलता है
ला इल्ला, सुनिए तो, अरे सुनो भाई, सुन लो ना,
करवा लीजिए।
ला इल्ला का मतलब अल्लाह,
बोलिए ना, बोलिए।
अल्लाह के अलावा और कोई इबादत के लायक नहीं है, इसीलिए अरब में एक भी दरगाह नहीं है, एक भी मजार नहीं है, एक भी पक्का कब्रिस्तान नहीं है, और यहाँ पे
तो तुम
दरगाह पे जाते हैं,
That's not the point. That's not the point. My point is limited to the fact, why do we not have a uniform age for girls? Why should some girls be pushed into marriage just as soon as they attain puberty? And on this, women also should have, their views taken on board. Why should the Muslim Personal Law Board decide this only with males taking this decision? Number one. And I'm talking limited on the issue of will, on the issue of inheritance, on the issue of divorce, maintenance. Why can't we have just some of these rules? Nobody wants to interfere with anybody's customs. But reform in societies is also the responsibility of a society. Why should girls in our country, why should women in our country not have access to the laws? Why should they be pressured with just social acceptance and rules that are pushed down their throat by their own community? That is the issue that is being flagged. You can do what you want in your religion, just codify it. Go to the court so that there is a legal sanction. You can still write a will and give whatever you want to your son and not to your daughter, but just write a will. Nobody is stopping you from that position of following your own religion. Why so much insecurity is the question that is being asked, and why is it not time for some reforms for 50% of the country's population, that is women? 50% of the Muslim population would also possibly be women. Why not equality for them? And is it only about minorities? Are there not other people who will be affected by the Uniform Civil Code? Why is it being made only about anti-minorities, that is the Muslims? There are tribals who will get affected. They are not Muslims, they are Hindus. If UCC can be considered for them, why not for the Muslim girls? Please think about it. Broaden your horizons. Think about your daughters, your sisters. That is all I can say on the Newshour tonight. Thank you very much for joining me on this debate. To all my panelists. Going across to the other big